This is episode 297 of the Super League Pod. We've got record breakers, history makers, and oh so much more. Some news, lots of Super League match reviews, plenty of Women's Super League chat, and a dip into NRL Britwatch too. Plus, we announced the latest streaming partner for Rugby League as it reaches out to the adult entertainment market. Strap in, Mother of God, it's SLP time. Hello, listeners.
Good evening.
You were just a second quicker, Tim, than how long it would have taken your Ben Crook to score a try there. We nearly got to 7 seconds. That's how long 7 seconds is.
Wow.
Welcome along, Tim. It's Mark here as well with Tim this week for episode 297 of the Super League Pod. That's creeping up on us, isn't it, Tim?
Closing in on 300.
Yeah. I don't think I've got the capacity to plan something exciting now. We've had enough milestones,
I think the next proper one's 500.
500. Yeah, well, if we get there, then that's a definite big milestone. Not many rugby league podcasts get to 500, and still have listeners, which we do just about. So, yeah. Why don't you tell those listeners about our sponsor?
Yes, this episode is sponsored by Rob's Toy Shop, where you can find a wide range of toys, gifts, rugby league birthday cards, and more at Rob's Toy Shop on eBay. If you visit stores.ebay.co.uk/Rob's Toy Shop, and on any orders over £5, you can earn 5% cash back. And also 1% of your order value will go into the SLP coffers just by putting SLP discount at checkout, which reminds me I need to order some puzzle books.
Excellent.
Not for myself, but for Heather, because she does enjoy a puzzle book. And without being able to get to WH Smith's at the moment,
yeah,
Rob's Toy Shop is our supply.
Puzzle book supplier. Excellent stuff. Right, I'd written a little what's on the show kind of thing here that started, Tim, with not much in the way of news this week. But we have got a big news story that we'll get to in the news. Well, relatively big. Let's say long-running news story that we'll get to. But whilst it was relatively quiet off the pitch, it was anything but quiet on the pitch, I think. We'll have loads of match reviews from another busy week of Super League, a week that saw records broken all over the show, really, and saw the return of the draw. Who'd have thought that? Plus, the Women's Super League was back, and that after 18 months, it was great to see that competition back. We'll celebrate the action, but we'll also pass comment on just one game being viewable for audiences keen to see the ladies back in action. And maybe later on, Tim, we'll get episode 2 of SLPLOD in the wrap-up. Stay with us to find out the biggest who shot first mystery since Han and Greedo, I think. So we'll get to that.
We definitely will talk about that later.
Good stuff. But we got a bit of feedback on one of the topics we touched on last week when the four guys were added late to the England squad. So do you want to share the feedback we got?
Yeah, it's from Joshua's granddad, John, who says, Allegedly may be understandable, but another bloody hooker in Leeming. English a long way off. Wardle, another one for the mix in the centres. I wonder, though, if the hookers thing, I was thinking this when you were talking about it last week, if that's deliberate, so that when, as a training squad, so they've got plenty of hookers in there, so they've got a quick tempo game, so that they're training at a quick tempo.
Yeah, and I guess one of the likely hookers to feature at the end of the year won't be in any of the training sessions during the year, will they? Because they're down under. Yeah. So there's that to kind of compensate for as well, I suppose.
And Brett Ferris is suspended as well. Yeah,
but Leeming's not going to be in the final reckoning. We wouldn't expect, would we?
No, and that's what makes me think they just wanted someone with a bit of zip to test their defence and test their defence against quick dummy half, because I think that's what you're going to be getting from quite a few countries is a quick attacking threat at dummy half, and I think with the 6 again rule, that's going to be something that we're going to need to practice on defending. So I think that's why that's been done.
And he was knocking about the city anyway, so there you go.
Wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, English and Wardle. I don't know how you feel about those two as prospects for England.
I think it's quite a sensible move. Have them in the camp, and I think getting them some international experience. They're the sort of players that will get called into the squad if a few injuries come down in those positions. So actually getting them familiar with the structures, how an England camp works is quite sensible. You see it in other sports. They sort of blood for training camps. They blood players who won't necessarily get in the squad right now, but will, and you want to get them used to the systems and processes.
And it's not really clear what's going to go on with the Knights this year in a World Cup year either, is it? But deliberately I've left Alejski till last because at the time of the first squad I thought he was one of the guys unlucky to miss out, and probably in the 2 games that have been played since then, even more so, he looks like a guy who's knocking on that door to be in that World Cup squad. So I think everyone would understand that one.
You mentioned last week that there is a bench spot in terms of the forwards available for someone to come and snatch it who's in form. I think at the moment he's in a decent shout to get that.
Yeah, for sure, yeah. I think Joe Philbin, though, has been trying to suck up to Wayne with it in his comments in the press, and then had a decent run out of the weekend for probably the first time in a while. So maybe he's after keeping that.
He's still, whenever he wears an international shirt, he looks like a competition winner to me.
I suppose before we get into everything else we're going to talk about, it might be worth kind of catching us up on League One, because we haven't really spoke much about League One, and we won't have any news stories from League One this week. We obviously have no scores yet because they don't start for another 3 weeks or so, and a lot of the clubs didn't even play in the Challenge Cup team, but we've started to see some friendlies. So will you get to warm up your ground announcing chops as well in the friendlies?
Unfortunately not, no. Coventry are playing 2 games both away, so they will be playing one Keighley this weekend, which is available on Cougars TV, which I'm not sure if I want appearing on my bank statement or not yet. And the second will be against London Scholars, I think it's the following Saturday. So they've got 2 away
friendlies. What's their TV
friendlies.
channel called? Hot Scholars?
Red Hot Scholars in your area.
Yeah.
So we've got two pre-season friendlies, and then start into it on, I think it's the 8th of May. It gets going, and they've had training and various things. I mean, the protocols are very strict in terms of what they can do, so they can only have certain blocks of contact, or they're not up to full contact training. They have to video every training session for track and traceability, so if somebody were to get COVID, that they've got the video to play back so they can find out who they've been close to and nuzzling up with in the tackle and that kind of thing.
Get down there with your needles, Tim. Distribute some vaccines.
Well, it would be an idea, but also it might get me some more practice. And they've also you have to, when their players arrive at training, they're only allowed to arrive in a certain time. They have to have a lateral flow test and then sit in their car for half an hour until they get the all clear. Then they can go and get changed on their own and head down to the field. So it's quite a procedure off the field in terms of getting them just ready for training at the moment.
Yeah, hopefully these measures will be able to be calmed, won't they? If things continue to be going well. With vaccine rollouts and things like that, so fingers crossed for that. And you've got another exciting debut coming up soon, Tim, as well.
Yep. So I'll be joining the Queen's Park Tag Rugby League that's starting in a couple of weeks' time. So I bought myself some special shorts and off we go.
You're not going to be refereeing any of the games.
No.
No chance of violence. It's just a tag rugby game.
Just me and the tags, yeah.
Good stuff, Tim. Well, that's great update on all things League One and Rugby League down south. We will now move on into the news.
So now time for the news, and Hull FC have signed outside back Miteli Vulikijapani. Is that how we're saying that?
I mean, I struggled enough with his first name. How we're going to do that? I think they're just going to call him Mitty.
Yeah.
But Vulikijapani, I think, is how we're going to go with it. Vulikijapani.
Okay, Miteli Vulikijapani.
For now, until like someone, if he manages to get into a second season, there's definitely going to be like a hilarious, we've changed how we pronounce this, distribution that goes out as well. Like this year down under, all of a sudden it's Papalihi, for example. Like who'd have guessed one of the best forwards in the world we've been saying his name wrong for all the years that he's been one of the best forwards in the world, for example. So if this guy gets any kind of pop, he's going to change the way we pronounce it just to wind us all up, I think.
Quite possibly.
I think Faraimo's changed as well now. I think you've got to say Faraimo or something. But I just think that was the BBC Humberside getting wound up by someone. Anyway, tell us more about him.
They've signed this guy on a one-year deal after he's granted release from active service in the British Army. The Fijian, who serves as a gunner in the 47th Regiment of the Royal Artillery, has converted from rugby union. He spent pre-season on trial with the Black and Whites.
I've got what they're going to call him. They're going to call him Ratutui.
Hey!
Hey!
I mean, we're not going to top that. We may as well just end the pod now. So, I mean, it's a success they've had previously picking up a Fijian winger from the army.
It's worth a punt.
It's worth a go.
Yeah. Lee have signed St Helens centre Josh Sim on loan. Sim, who's 20, is fresh from signing a new deal with Saints, moved on an initial 2-week loan term with the possibility of an extension. He did play at the weekend for Lee. The grandson of Saints legend Jeff Pimblett, he has made 8 first-team appearances, most recently in Saints' 25-0 Super League win over Hull Kingston Rovers.
Yeah, and some big Wigan Warriors news that's breaking just last night. Wigan Warriors scrum half Harry Smith has signed a new 4-year deal. The 21-year-old made 22 appearances for the Warriors, including playing in all 4 games so far this season.
Yeah, and Harry's a real talent. He's shown flashes in most of the games he's played.
You mean he's been a flash Harry?
Sorry?
It's been a flash Harry.
Like on Thursday night against Leeds, there was he came in off the bench and had a really good role played in Liam Farrell's second try, for example. He's got a really good skill set, particularly his kicking game. He's still developing. He's only 21. He's only played He's only played 1 season, I suppose, in the first team, you would really say. Last year he was in and around the squad for a lot of games. Looks like he might get a chance in the team again next week if Thomas Lulawi's not fully fit. So, Wigan think quite a lot of this kid. And he won all the Player of the Years in the age groups as he came up as well. So he's been around for a while and everyone likes the way the kid plays. Although I do think, Tim, that there was a reason why this great news of young Harry Smith signing a new long-term deal at the club was released last night, And that's because today it was confirmed, today as we're recording on the 19th of April, it was confirmed Australian halfback Jackson Hastings will leave the Wigan Warriors at the end of the season to return to Australia with the Wests Tigers. Hastings, who's 24, has been a huge hit in Super League since joining Salford in 2018, scoring 25 tries in 65 games and was named the 2019 Man of Steel, of course. The ex-Sydney Roosters and Manly Sea Eagles half has signed a 2-year deal with the NRL club.